Hello again, guys. This is Gregola Productions here, back again with another episode of the GPWS. We've got our Charmer Baby Ben here, and we're going to change out the balance wheels. More on that in a second. Tonight on Commercial Carousel, we have a pal of mine from the Gregola Horology Club, and on YouTube, it's Pin Palette 20 going on the carousel here tonight. I was waiting for someone like him to eventually sign up, and so he has. So here's his ad. You won't be disappointed with this one. And remember, you too can climb aboard the carousel and get your content advertised completely free of charge on both the Gregola Records Club channel on the episodes of Servisola, or on the Gregola Productions channel, which you are currently seeing this on the episodes of the GPWS. As previously stated, this is a completely free program to get involved with. All you have to do is check out the How Can I Get Advertised video link in the description. After that, either message me on Discord or send your completed product to commercialcarousel@gmail.com. That is commercialcarousel@gmail.com.
Pin Palette 20, amateur clock repairs. 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 I specialise in different alarm clocks from the 20th century, especially Westclox, but occasionally some other ones as well. I've got a YouTube channel about it, and it's great fun. I repair clocks on camera and talk about them sometimes. Please subscribe.
So if you saw the last episode of our series here, you'll know that I actually finished off the clock off camera. Well, it was recorded, but there's no point in showing it now, because it didn't run very well. It would run, the spring would be wound up all the way, and it would run, I don't know, maybe for 12 hours. But if you touched it or whatever, or flipped it around, it might stop, and that's because the balance wheel, the pivot points, are worn. Well, Greg, how in the heck do you fix that? Usually what you do is you'd, and I'll link a video, I'll link some pivot polishing videos in the description, but you need a lathe and you need a polishing compound. The polishing compound, for me, isn't really the problem. It's getting a lathe, which, of course, they're up in the thousands. Or maybe, I don't know, OK Bridges suggested a drill chuck may be able to, or a drill with a chuck and then have the wheel in there and work with it. I don't know. It's kind of it's not a complicated process necessarily. It's just one that needs to be looked into. So this balance wheel has been marked with a green Sharpie there to signify that it shouldn't be used. Thankfully, I've been doing this since 2017, so I've got spare balance wheels, and I've selected this one, probably from a Style 5 Baby Ben. And if we know anything about Westclox, all the Baby Bens from Styles 1 through 7, the dual key models, are basically have interchangeable parts. You can interchange parts from the 1920s to ones from the early 1960s. On the Baby Bens, on the dual key ones only. You can't do that anywhere else. Some of the big Bens have this, I think Styles 1 to 6, but anyway, that's irrelevant. So we're going to be taking this delicate little hairspring and hopefully not screwing it up off there and moving it onto this wheel and then reinstalling it. Before we do anything, though, we better mark some stuff down here. That green mark, not only does it mean the wheel's not any good, but there is if you guys know anything about balance wheels, there is a roller in there. See the roller there? That you see the impulse pin, and then there's that thing on there. That is a roller, and I'm paying attention to our collet here that holds our hairspring. How it's all hard to see because it's not really in focus. Our collet is facing forward, and the hairspring, this is the way it was just staked in there. It's going in that direction. So basically pay attention to where the hairspring is, because if you just put this on here any old direction, you can turn it around with a very small screwdriver. If I can find the slot, there's a slot in the collet there it is right there. You can get a little screwdriver in there and just slowly turn it around. But I want to have a rough idea of where the end of the hairspring is in this whole ordeal here. So what I'm saying is you got to have your hairspring the right way around, and if you don't, that's okay. You can just stick a very small screwdriver into the slot in the cullet there and turn it around. And there's a better shot of the roller on this one. This one has no hairspring. And also the hairspring has to be on the balance wheel at a certain height. So I've marked the general area on this one with green Sharpie. So the cullet has to be down at the end of that green mark there. And I know it kind of, there's a bit of a size variance going on, or there's a bit of a, how should I say? I don't know. I just kind of scribbled it on there. I don't know. We're going to have to play around with this a little bit. But since we're working on such a small scale, it's easy to ruin things and lose things. And as for the actual balance wheel like installation, I won't be showing that because I just showed it in the last part. When I realized the hairspring had to be replaced, I wasn't really sure where to start. But after quite a fair amount of experimentation, I've started using my pocket watch movement holder that I've got it down to the smallest setting it can go, and I've got a lid here for support. Then what we can do is pop our old balance wheel on. Well, they're both old, but you know what I mean. Then I stick a pair of pliers, and I like to get the impulse pin facing forward for this. Stick a pair of pliers in here, in the wheel there. And I like to take a screwdriver and just gently pry it up. And I do little bits at a time. You don't want to go too fast with this, because you will screw it up. And that will be very not fun to deal with. Nice and slow, viewers. No rush. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this a little bit differently. I'm going to take the balance wheel, get a pair of tweezers in between this area and the actual cullet. Whoops. And just press down and get our hairspring nice and flat on the table. Moving things very slowly here. No rush, viewers. And see now the hairspring is, the whole cullet has been moved up to the top there. And then we can kind of bring this back, come in here, get the pliers going, and just get this in here. Get this in here, and that's not what I want to do. You get the idea. Just gently pry that up. Some of this stuff is, you know, it's kind of difficult to show on camera just because of the nature of it. Well, here, let's just get this in here. Get my pliers in there. There it is. It's off. Okay. Now what we need to do is get our tweezers. I'm going to get a really fine pair. And just kind of, whoops. Oh, I guess that works too. It means lift it off like that. And viewers, another note here. Watch the whole video through before you try anything. But I've got a piece of advice for you. Work on a surface that's fairly forgiving. Because you've got these balance wheels with their, you know, sharpened, oh jeepers, the sharpened pivots or sharpened points on both ends. And you know, when you're working with pliers and stuff and you're pressing these up against the table or whatever, you know, if you work on something too hard, you're going to end up dulling the points, and then the wheel's not going to work right, and then everything you've done is just totally not worth it at all. So what is nice and forgiving on these things, you know, you can get your points stuck in there like that or whatever. It shouldn't wreck it. Unless this will. I don't know. I thought this would be a good surface to work on for this. If this isn't, I don't know what is. Granted, the work table that you'll be using is probably nicer than this. This has paint stains and stuff all over it. No one has complained yet in the comments section. But yeah. Hey, free is free. This was a free table, so what can I say? At least none of this is actively, coming off, and, I stick my hand on here and suddenly I've got, like, black dust all over my hands or something like that. At least it's all, on there. Okay, so now what you do is you'd go over to your lathe or whatever the heck you're using and polish the pivots up. Since we don't have the facilities for that yet, I'm not going to throw away the old wheel, but I've just, grabbed another balance wheel that has been taken care of better. Greg, how do you take care of your balance wheel pivot points? Or not pivot points. How do you take care of your balance wheel points so they don't dull? Okay, I've got two things for you. If you're a dollar pocket watch owner, probably the number one thing to do, and yes, this does apply here as well, the number one thing to do is keep your movements vertical when they're running. When the movement is vertical, the points of the wheel are just, they aren't being pushed up against anything, they're just sliding back and forth in the cups. When you're storing your watch horizontally like this, the balance wheel is moving back and forth, but it's slowly grinding up against the bottom point, making it dull. And that's why most of the time on dollar watches you find them, they might not, they'll want to run this way, but not this way. Thankfully, the way alarm clocks are designed is the movements are always vertical. Well, when they're quote-unquote right way up, or standing up. The clock case, and this isn't the right case for it, obviously, keeps the movement up like that. Okay, Greg, well, the Charmer isn't a dollar watch that's been left horizontal for 65 years. What happened to it? Why is its balance wheel dull? Well, here's the number 2 best tip you can possibly get. Regular maintenance. If you buy an alarm clock or dollar watch or whatever the heck from an antique store or a grandfather clock or anything like that, and it's labeled as working and you bring it home and it runs, that's not that great. It's like your car. You've just bought a car that hasn't been serviced or it hasn't had any oil changes in 25 years or whatever, but that's okay, it still works, right? That couldn't be damaging to it whatsoever. It's these machines need maintenance mentality that you have to have. Don't just buy stuff from antique stores and whatnot and just dab some oil on it. Oh, let's say you get a bottle of Liberty oil. I know there's all kinds of opinions and stuff on Liberty oil and whatnot. I like it, but that's it. Maybe it's not for everyone. You dab your movement full of oil, and you go, well, it's serviced. No, you've just mixed new oil with gummy oil, and now you've created a paste, an abrasive paste, that will wear things down. As for our balance wheel, the 2 points on it, what I was told to do was put a little dab on this point. This is like when the clock is, or this is when the wheel is in between the cups. You put a little dab on this side and a little dab on this side, and you also put one on the impulse pin as well. And this was done from the factory as well. But anyway, if you either dab, you left it dirty and you dab oil here, here, and here, or don't, it's going to start wearing down either way. Either you have old crappy oil that isn't doing its job, or you have new oil mixed with old oil, abrasive paste crap that is just going to ruin it as well. So the only answer to this is to just dismantle everything and clean it up and re-lubricate it, because if you don't, you're gonna screw your stuff up even more. And that's why it's always so good to get to these when they're still running. Like, if you buy it from an antique store and it's labeled as running, oh good, that means nothing is necessarily wrong with it. I've gotten to this machine before it's too late, before the pivots are worn out, or before the points are dull, or something like that. I'm pretty sure this was well, this is the wrong wheel. This was very preventable. With regular maintenance and, keeping it upright, which is like probably the easiest thing to do when it's running, you can have, this stuff lasts you a lifetime. And in fact, it's lasted 2 lifetimes. This all belonged to someone else before I got a hold of it. So whoever tells you at antique stores and whatnot, oh, it ain't broke, don't fix it, don't be ridiculous. Sure, this stuff may not be your car, where you have to change the oil all the time, but, you know, like, maintenance for any machine is necessary at some point. Before you start pulling this stuff apart, though, make sure you do your research and your homework about it. It's going to take a while for all that to get done, but you'll come up with pretty good results. And finding a guy who will tell you what to do, like, let's use a mentor, for example, here. Finding a mentor is basically what you need. OK Bridges was mine, and he still is. I still ask him stuff and whatnot. But, yeah, like, as you can see, viewers, I've managed to put all this together with an iPhone 8, free tables and stuff that I've gotten pretty cheaply at flea markets and whatever. Of course, some of this stuff, like this movement holder here, you know, this was a little more expensive, but it was definitely worth getting, because look where we're using it. So, yeah, and I've learned a lot about tools and things along the way here as we've gone. Okay, let's get our hairspring back on. So I just left it on my pliers here, and I'm just going to get that in there. Can I get it in? Or I'm going to get the collet in on the end of it. Does this actually work? I don't know if it will. I have to get some tweezers in there, possibly. It's just kind of sitting on there. It's not really on there much. Okay, let's just gently push you on. Okay. I'm even going to take my finger here. Maybe this is bad practice. There we go. Get that nice and straight on there. Yeah, viewers, you want to go really slow here. You do not want to put on more pressure than you need here. Oh, okay. Yeah, you do not want to put on that much. And just by that little adjustment there, you'll see that the collet is on, but the hairspring isn't quite straight, and I know it's not focusing. What I like to do in this situation here is just kind of get my tweezers or pliers and gently just kind of try and do a little bit of corrective bending. I think we did kind of clip the hairspring a little bit. Yeah, it's not perfectly straight, but I think that'll be passable. Yeah, the main idea is just to keep your pliers off of the actual hairspring itself and to keep them on the collet here in the center. So I'm going to do my best to try and show this here. Okay, I didn't like the way that was all turning out. So here's what we're gonna do. There is a hole here and a hole here in my workmate. I have no idea why I was calling this thing a sawhorse. It kind of sort of looks like it is, but I don't think we're quite there. And I'm gonna go with the lamp here that I've got at my desk. I've recently been adjusting the garage here, cleaning things up. There's still more to do, but, you know, we're kind of getting there anyway. So I got my lamp going. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to get my pliers, or my tweezers here, have them up against the collet, and just slowly press the collet on. Because we got a hole, as I said, we got a hole here and a hole here. So we can very easily press this together here. That's kind of what I want to go for. And since this material isn't that hard, we shouldn't have that. Actually, I don't even think I need, I don't know, I don't even need the tweezers in there, I don't think. Where the heck is the hole at? Oh my goodness. Where's the hole? I thought it was right there, but maybe it's not. Okay, I don't know. I'm just going to put it here. Yeah, I think we just push it on like that and just press it into the wood. As I said, nice soft wood here, so shouldn't be that difficult to do. There we are. Oops. Yeah, I think this is, you know, some sort of pressing device would be the most optimal way of doing this. Let's just pull this out here for a second. I want to see how in the heck what we're doing. Okay, we're looking like that right now. That's not bad. Whoops. What the heck? The hairspring's a little botched up. That's from me screwing around with the tweezers. So I don't know. You can run like that. I've seen it. I've seen worse. Believe me. Here. Let's see here. Yeah, I think this is the ticket to the way to go. And I'm gonna turn both cranks. If you have no idea how these Workmate things work, it's there's two cranks on here, and I'm not gonna dismount the camera right now. Yeah, there's two cranks, and I'm gonna turn them both at the same time to push this on here. There we go. We're getting her on. I think we're just gonna leave it like that for now. I just pull it back out of here. Shouldn't dull my point at all. I don't think. I hope it doesn't. It'd be kind of a waste of time if it did. I think this is an experiment worth doing. Really. It still looks a little high on that collet though. Or I'm sorry, not collet, the balance staff. It looks high on the balance staff. Gets to a point where Greg actually has no idea what he's saying. That sounds about right. Okay, oops, that's not, I want to grab the hairspring. The balance wheel. Okay, I'm gonna press this back in here again so you can actually see what the heck I'm doing. Yeah, it's worth getting a Workmate. I'm just gonna put it like that, I think. I think that's probably the most optimal. You know, I don't think you can do much better than this regarding this stuff, because you can do all kinds of things with it. Okay, let's just gently press that on. And it's gonna either get stuck in there or get stuck in there, so we're gonna see here. Okay, that's definitely enough. I'm gonna go try that on the clock now. So here's an actual better look at this thing. As you can see, it is a Workmate Deluxe 79, whatever the heck, 00504. This is probably from 2004 or earlier. I wouldn't be surprised. This was my grandfather's. So, yeah, type number 4 here. I mean, this is really handy. As you can see, I've strapped aluminum and a piece of steel here for pressing cheese wheels in on Westclox style 66 movements and all that fun stuff, and pressing knobs on and everything else. I got my lamp here. Yeah, I mean, this is just worth it to have, really. Okay, I've gotten it back in the clock, and we had a little bit of good running there, so that was good. But I'm more concerned about the fact that the balance wheel is the whole escapement is way out of beat. Look at where the wheel is, and look at where the pallet fork is. Those two are supposed to be lined up. The spoke of the balance wheel is supposed to be lined up with the pallet fork, and it's obviously not. So how in the heck do you fix that? Well, you adjust the slot in the collet of the hairspring there. How do I do that? You take a screwdriver and you can turn it either right or left. So I've got a small screwdriver. I'm not really sure what direction I want to go in here. I think probably to the right. I actually gotta get it in there too. Oh shoot. Oh my goodness. Oh. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's just bend that back up. That's really bad. Oh my goodness. This poor hairspring. Now I know why people mangle these things up so much. Don't you love it when you're cleaning up your own mess? The motion on this is working better now, but I'm still not done adjusting this thing. I want to get to that slot in the collet there. See, this thing is still way out of beat, and I know you can't really see. But yeah, our balance wheel spoke is over here and the pallet fork is up here. So it's kind of way the heck off. So I'm taking a small non-magnetic screwdriver and I'm going to turn the regulator to move it way out of the way here because I don't want that in my face as I'm trying to do this. And we're going to turn it around. I'm just going to stick it there. Trying to make sure it's like in the slot. I want to make sure it's actually in there. This won't be good for much if it's not even in right. Gotta put my magnification on for this. Oh, that's not what I want. You gotta turn it to the left then. Okay, viewers, here we are about 2 weeks later, and I've just been testing our Style 7 Baby Ben Charmer movement. And even when I nicked the hairspring in the last part there, we're still going strong. That is the balance wheel in there. You can see it running, and that with a really nice motion too. Yeah, and you're probably wondering what the heck the plastic wrap is on both the Baby Ben and that Style 66 movement right next to it. This is just like a dust cover, really. It's a temporary dust cover, just to make sure that nothing gets in there. And, I mean, they're pretty, both of them are pretty, well, I don't know, insulated, I guess. I don't know, when I've got stuff on the table here for a while, and I'm just running it like this, I like to cover it up with something. That Style 66 movement you haven't seen on any videos because I just figured I'd do that one off camera. I've got some other ones that I'd like to show on camera that would be better examples, I think. I don't know, you'll probably see it when it's done. And how's the motion on that, by the way? It seems to kind of want to rock to one side. That balance wheel, I'm not really sure about that. I don't know. It seems to be running okay, though, right now, so I don't know. I'm more focused on this here. So our Baby Ben will be, you know, I'll be releasing the next part of this relatively soon, I hope, if all goes to plan. Anyway, viewers, thank you for watching this episode. I had a lot of fun making it. You know, learning new methods with hairsprings and all that stuff, and you know, like, this is stuff that I can take with me for the rest of my life right here. And who knows, it may change the message, I hope. The methods may change over the years, but I don't know. This is a great start here, I think. I mean, look at the motion on that. It's literally blurring on camera. But that's also because of the plastic wrap, but it's blurring kind of, well, it's not blurring in reality, but I don't know, it's just got a really nice motion on it. Anyways, viewers, I will see you in the next part.